This is my scary encounter story. For context, I'm a married woman in my mid-20s, and this story took place near the busiest time of the year in December. The polished marble floors glistened at the luxurious South Coast Plaza Mall in California as I emerged from the Macy's, my shopping bags in hand. The air was filled with the scent of opulence and extravagance, a place where people came to indulge their desires. On this particular day, I would find myself entangled in a chilling experience that would make my heart race and my palms grow clammy. As I walked through the mall, I was approached by a clean-shaven man with impeccable casual clothing and a charismatic personality. He had that magnetic charm that made you feel like you'd known him for years. He began talking to me in a friendly, almost nostalgic way, as though we were long-lost friends from high school. His small talk was disarming, and I found myself drawn to his conversation. He mentioned a dilemma, one that involved a handful of diamonds he claimed to have. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he explained that he needed to leave town due to a family emergency. The urgency in his voice was palpable as he told me that he needed cash immediately but lacked the time or an ID to pawn the diamonds himself. With an air of mystery, he took out a crisp mustard-color manila envelope with diamonds and showed them to me. I am no diamond expert, but at first sight they shined exquisitely under the sun in the open area where he approached me. I was intrigued, and I couldn't help but entertain the offer. He claimed that by purchasing these diamonds for $500 in cash, I could pawn them for around $5,000. It sounded too good to be true, but the fact that we were in one of the most expensive malls on the West Coast, it was plausible that this opportunity was legitimate, and my gut instinct urged me to be cautious but adventurous at the same time. I engaged in a hushed conversation with my husband over the phone, sitting on a bench in the middle of the mall, sharing the surprising opportunity that had presented itself. I sought his input to see what he thought of this bewildering situation. My decision to share my dilemma would attract the attention of an eavesdropper, another man sitting on the opposite side of the bench. He overheard the details of the diamond sale and seemed interested in what was unfolding. After hanging up and informing the diamond dealer that I had no cash on me, the stranger made his move. He chimed in, affirming that it was indeed a great deal, but insisted on taking the diamonds to the Harry Winston jewelry store for inspection. The dealer readily agreed, and the strangers disappeared into the store, only to return with the assurance that the diamonds were legitimate. A surge of excitement coursed through me, and I was teetering on the edge of a decision. The stranger proposed going half and half on the deal if I could withdraw the cash from an ATM. My gut feeling was overridden by the allure of quick profit, and I found myself being agreeable. The stranger, now suddenly interested in my venture, informed me about the nearest ATM and offered to hand over his share to the dealer. He emphasized that when I returned with the remaining $250, we could be well off to pawn it for the $5,000. Reluctantly, I exchanged numbers with both men and promised to meet them after I had withdrawn the money. I assured them I would return with the cash. I convinced my inner voice to mute itself, or else I would lose this lucrative opportunity. With a smile, I headed to my nearest Wells Fargo branch, withdrawing the $250 from the ATM. My heart raced as I returned to the mall parking lot, ready to seal the deal. However, as I approached the parking lot where I parked, I spotted both of the men as if they were conspiring and getting into a white cargo van. I suppressed that gut feeling of doubt in the pursuit of making a great investment. The men were oblivious to my presence. I walked back inside the mall. I at least wanted to do the deal in a more secure location. To my astonishment, there was a group of security personnel along with Costa Mesa PD gathered around an elderly lady. She was recounting her unsettling encounter with the same tall, charismatic man. She had contemplated writing them a check, but the man's insistence on cash made her suspicious. With a racing heart, I decided to interject myself into their conversation, revealing that I had been on the verge of a similar deal with the men in question. I shared that they were waiting for me to call them, but they were in the parking structure and described the charismatic man and the interested buyer. The authorities thanked me, emphasizing that they had been dealing with scammers in the mall recently, particularly targeting wealthy and tourist areas. As the security personnel and the police officers made their way to the parking lot, I followed at a safe distance. What I witnessed next startled me. The two men, seeing the presence of authorities, sped off as the group approached. They escaped capture, and in a way I too escaped some type of ordeal. At that moment, I was overwhelmed by a mix of emotions: shock, mystification, nervousness, and relief. I had made the crucial decision to involve the police and security, which had likely saved me from a perilous fate. Abduction, robbery, or a well-executed scam were all possibilities I had unknowingly dodged. As I watched the van disappear into the distance, I couldn't help but feel a chilling sensation. The luxurious facade of the shopping mall had blinded me to what should have been common sense. It was a close call. I had dodged a dangerous situation only out of coincidence if it were not for that sweet old lady berating about the men. If you indulge in your curiosity, consider subscribing.